Episode 88, November the 29th, 2021. Welcome, everyone. We have a great show for you today. Lots of things to talk about. We have 91 people in our audience today and a bunch of people over on our YouTube feed. So welcome, everyone. It's nice to see everyone back. Hopefully you had a great Thanksgiving, lots of turkey. And of course, today is Cyber Monday. So if you haven't spent your money, today's a good time to do so. Lots of gadgets. I know I spent last week having a ball. Since I'm not going to Arizona this year, there was some extra money in their budget. So I spent it having lots of fun. So lots to talk about. Yes, so as you know, this is being broadcast on both YouTube and Zoom. So if you are listening over on our YouTube feed, welcome. We will be ending the show in about 50 minutes on YouTube. If you want to come over to our Zoom meeting, please hop over and you can participate in the question and answer period. We have a very big show for you today. So I'm going to, we want to get started early. So I'm not going to talk too much, but I do want to introduce everybody and say hello. We haven't talked for a little while yet. Hewie, how the heck are you? Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
A wonderful Thanksgiving. And the Prime truck is just, they're waiting in line to get to my front door.
There you go. So lots more videos coming. Well, not a shortage of things to talk about, right?
Yeah, and today's going to be the first of them.
Oh, really?
It was an item I got on Saturday. Yep.
Very good. Oh, well, okay. Well, lots to talk about. Bob, how the heck? You must have bought something this last week.
No, I was very busy. I finally got my 2022 presentation completed. Must be old age. I seem to be procrastinating a little more each year. Pretty soon we'll do 2024 and 2025, right?
Exactly. There you go. And Ray, what's happening? You've got a big talk today. You're going to talk on the Plex server. That's cool. I'm really interested.
I am, and in line with that, you guys buy all those fancy gadgets and ones that do all kinds of things. What did I buy? Just a simple 6 terabyte hard drive.
Really, and that's it?
That's it, and that still might not be enough for the media that I'm going to be putting up. But
I'm sure you're going to tell us
about that later.
Yeah, you'll tell us about it later. Great. And of course, Dewey. Now, I thought Dewey was in Mesa, Arizona. Where the heck did Dewey go? Are you around there? He's packing. He's packing today. So he's actually leaving tomorrow. I thought he'd be. I thought he was down there. So I guess the band and the welcoming committee will have to wait till Tuesday now. And Bill, you must have bought a bunch of stuff this week as well, eh? What have you're smiling at me and you haven't bought anything? I know you're not going to tell me about it, but I know it's a secret, but we'll be hearing lots about that, eh? All right. I had a great evening last night. We had a couple over who are long friends of ours who we've traveled around the world with many times, and they were coming over for dinner. And just before they arrived, just 10 minutes before, I thought, I know what I'm going to do. So I quickly went on to Google Photos. I put his name in and his wife's name into Google Photos. It found all the photos of course, all the photos of all our travels that their pictures were in, and I just put it in a folder called Sunday, which is Sunday dinner, which Sunday, right? And so on all our TCL TVs, there's an app called PhotoView, and PhotoView links into Google Photos. So all as I did was put that album up as a screensaver, and we sat around, and there were like 3,000 pictures, and we sat around, had dinner, drank wine, and we watched all these pictures of all our travels, and it was such a great thing. And I just did it like this is the use of technology and how easy it is. Seconds before they arrived, I went boom, 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 and it was done. And and then we had all these pictures being shown on our TV for the whole evening, which was all our travels. It was such a great evening. Well, I'm not going to blab on and on and on because we have a really big show for you today with lots of exciting things. And we we need to get moving to get everything done before top of the hour. So Bob, do you want to head out now? Do you want to get going?
By Italy's regulators in a week. Apple and Google have each been fined £10 million, which is around 11.3 million, by Italian's competition authority for not properly obtaining a user's consent before using their data for commercial purposes. The AGCM has announced both are accused of not correctly informing users when their data will be used in this way, preventing customers from being able to give their informed consent. This is the second time Apple has been fined by the Italian regulator this week, after it and Amazon were hit with fines totaling £200 million, around 225 million, on Tuesday for restricting who's allowed to sell Apple and Beats products on Amazon's Italian store. Apple and Google did not immediately respond to the request for comment on the latest fine, but £10 million penalty is unlikely to even register on either company's balance sheet. Apple recently reported making $83.4 billion in revenues last quarter, while Google made $65.1 billion. Google agrees with UK's Competition and Markets Authority to deeper oversight on Privacy Sandbox. As part of an ongoing antitrust investigation into Google's Privacy Sandbox by the UK's competition regulator, the ad tech giant has agreed to expand set of commitments related to oversight of its planned migration away from tracking cookies, the regulator announced today. Commenting in a statement, CMA CEO Andrea Coselli said, "We welcome Google's cooperation and are grateful to all the interested parties who engaged with us during the consultation. If accepted, the commitment we have obtained from Google become legally binding, promoting competition in digital markets, helping to protect the ability of online publishers to raise money through advertising, and safeguarding users' privacy." Read more about this at TechCrunch. UK law will hit smart home device makers with big fines for using default passwords. The new rules were originally proposed last year, following a long period of consultation, and are largely unchanged. The first one is a ban on easy-to-guess default passwords, including classics like password and admin. All passwords that come with new devices will need to be a unique and not resettable to any universal factory setting, the law states. Most of us assume if a product is for sale, it's safe and secure, yet many are not, putting too many of us at risk of fraud and theft, said UK Minister Julia Lopez. Our bill will put a firewall around everyday tech, from phones and thermostats to dishwashers, baby monitors, and doorbells, and see huge fines for those who fall foul of thought of tough new security standards. Wonder how long it'll take before it takes effect here in the US. Read the whole story at Engadget. A new Windows 0 Day with public exploit lets you become an admin. As part of the November 2021 patch, Tuesday, Microsoft fixed a Windows installer elevation of privilege vulnerability tracked as CVE 2021-41379. This vulnerability was discovered by security researcher Abdelhamid Nassiri, who found a bypass to the patch and a more powerful new zero-day privilege elevation vulnerability after examining Microsoft's fix. Yesterday, Nassiri published a working proof of concept exploit for the new zero day on GitHub, explaining that it works on all supported versions of Windows. This variant was discovered during the analysis of CVE 2021-41379 patch. The bug was not fixed correctly. However, instead of dropping the bypass, explained Nasiri in his write-up, I have chosen to actually drop this variant as it is more powerful than the original one. Read the whole story at Bleeping Computer. 6 million Sky routers exposed to takeover attacks for 17 months. Around 6 million Sky broadband customer routers in the UK were affected by a critical vulnerability that took over 17 months to roll out a fix to customers. The disclosed vulnerability is a DNS rebinding flaw that threat actors could easily exploit if the user had not changed the default admin password, or a threat actor could brute force the credentials. The result of the exploitation would be to compromise the customer's home network, change the router's configuration, and potentially pivot to other internal devices. On October 22, 2021, Sky emailed to say that Sky had fixed 99% of all vulnerable routers via an update. If you own this router, make sure you update the device. Read more about this at Bleeping Computer. This week's must-read on the Avast blog. Everything you need to know about cookies. Cookies allow companies and websites to identify a device and remember it the next time that they see it. This can be good or bad, as it depends on how the information is being used. Follow the link below for my video on this topic. And that wraps up this week's Avast Security News Roundup. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Bob. Great news. For those of you who don't know, Bob does a lot of videos, not just on security, but on a lot of topics regarding computers and Windows 11. The links to all his great work can be found in our newsletter on our Tuesday edition, so it's coming up. So thank you, Bob, for all you do, and thank you for a great report. Now, of course, Dewey is packing, so he's not going to be on today. So we have Ray. Ray, I'm all ears for our Plex server. Tell us about it.
All right, let's see if I can make this work the way I'd like. All right, everybody can see that?
Yeah.
Good. This is creating a Plex server. This is going to be part one. I'm going to do part two sometime later. An alternative title for this could be what to do with a Windows 10 PC that does not meet Windows 11 requirements. So what is a Plex server and why should you want one? A Plex media server allows you to store, organize, that's the important part, and access all your media information from one centralized location. Now, this could include your collection of theatrical movies and TV shows from DVDs and Blu-ray discs, your home movies that you've probably created over the last several decades, your photos, which you've probably created over many more decades, and music, the audio CDs, as well as music-related performances from DVD and Blu-ray discs. So by installing the Plex app on your portable devices, you have another way to access your media collection. So what to know about Plex? Well, there's a free version, and actually the good news is most of the features of Plex are available in this free version. The paid version is known as the Plex Pass. That'll run you either $5 a month, $40 a year, or $120 for a lifetime subscription. That Plex Pass offers additional features that include the ability for offline viewing of your collection, as well as being able to DVR shows if you are connected to a digital antenna. Your Plex server must always be on for the content to be accessed. That makes sense. And now Plex is legal with licensing agreements common to the industry. Now, here's the key. Plex users must hold the license to own or view the media they provide themselves, meaning that once you've copied and loaded and ripped all your discs to the server, you cannot sell or even give away that DVD or Blu-ray collection that have been saved to the server. So what is a Plex media server requirements? What do they require? Well, I have a 7-year-old HP Envy desktop that I've used for quite a while. It's running the latest version of Windows 10. And that was my main PC until several months back. I replaced it in 2021 with a newer computer. So this is a very serviceable computer today. It has 16 gig of RAM. It has 2 hard drives, a 2 terabyte solid state drive, plus a 2 terabyte hard drive. But and here's the big but, the AMD A10 processor does not meet Windows 11 requirements. And it's a large
Ray?
Yeah,
Ray, are you showing a PowerPoint?
yes,
You're not sharing your screen.
I thought I did. Let me go back. Thank
I'm
you for,
seeing it.
I'm seeing it.
everybody else is seeing it.
Yeah, we're seeing it. Look on your other monitor.
Okay, thank you.
You're fine, Ray. Go
Thank you
ahead.
for bailing me out. It's a large tower model, so that would be expensive to ship it if I were to sell this unit on eBay. So as I learned more about the capabilities and benefits of a Plex server or the Plex app, I felt this older computer would be a good candidate to convert to a Plex server. Additionally, the Plex app can run on a variety of other operating systems besides Windows, including Linux, Mac, and those associated with what we call a NAS, a network attached storage device. Okay, when I did not have an extra monitor, I temporarily used a 46-inch Sony TV for my Plex server. So how about that? That is big. The 2 monitors to the right that I use every day, they're both 27-inch monitors. So this will give you an idea of how big it is. It was temporary. I finally found another extra monitor in the garage that I wasn't using, and I've swapped it. But that's what it looks like when you put a TV monitor set up as your monitor for your server. And on the right-hand side, that's what the tower looks like, a typical full-size tower. So the requirements, you'll see the term transcoding. And that's the process of converting an audio or video file from one digital format to another, so it can be played on a variety of devices that may not support the original method it was created for. And the perfect example are CDs, DVDs, and Blu-ray discs. These can only be played on an optical drive. The computer's processor plays an important role with the speed of transcoding. Now, Plex recommends a minimum of an Intel i3 processor, but if multiple people in the home might be streaming different sources from the Plex server simultaneously, then a more powerful multi-core processor may be necessary. All right, here comes the fun part, converting your movie discs to computer files. So there's several software products on the market today that will convert your discs. These are the 2 free ones I use. Handbrake. I use this primarily for ripping DVDs. Handbrake is easy to use and does a very good job with DVDs, but most of the time it has difficulty with the DRM, digital rights management, on Blu-ray discs. Then there's one called Make MKV. I use this primarily for Blu-ray discs. It is able to bypass the DRM, but the file ends up being quite large. And if you want to save hard disk space, this requires a second converting process using Handbrake to make it an MP4 file. All right, so with your movies converted to computer files and saved on your server, you can view them from streaming devices that have the Plex client. This would include smart TVs and those with the add-on devices like the Amazon Fire Stick or Roku, as well as your smartphone. If you enjoy using streaming services like Netflix and Amazon Prime Video to watch your favorite movies, then you'll really appreciate a Plex server for many of the same reasons as you watch your personal movie collection. Like CD players, DVD units are starting to disappear from homes as younger viewers opt for more modern ways to watch their favorite movies. DVD players are mostly mechanical units and will break down after much usage. No more DVD case storage issues to contend with. No worrying about damaging or misplacing a disc. Now, in my case, with close to 300 DVD and Blu-ray discs, I'm now actually rediscovering movies I forgot I had, or that were never played because they were stored on the bottom shelf of the bookcase. So when you organize your media, you're going to want to do it in several categories. This is what I'm basically doing. I have my home videos rather, the family videos I've taken over the years. I have a category for all theatrical movies, one for music, one for photos, one for TV shows, so I don't have too many there, and then just miscellaneous, anything else that will fit there. And when you do the movies, they tell you that the file name should be the exact title of the movie, and then in parentheses, you put the year it was released. This helps differentiate movies with the same exact title. And then what Plex does, it scrubs the internet, mainly it goes to the Internet Movie Database and looks for a match, and then includes a copy of the movie poster and all kinds of other related information about the film and the starring actors. You can take your organization skills to the next level with movie subcategories like drama, mystery, comedy. So the major consideration, and this is what I'm facing, is how much storage space will you need on your server? It seems that every few years there's a new disk format that allows for greater storage capacity on a disk with newer mediums that store very high quality, very high definition video. The ripping process will reduce the size of the new file to be stored on the server. And just as a reminder, these are the maximum sizes of disks that we're dealing with today. Just a regular DVD is 4.7 gigabytes. A dual layer DVD is twice that. A single layer Blu-ray is 25 gigabytes, and a double layer Blu-ray disc is 50 gigabytes just for one movie. So the ripping process from a DVD to an MP4 file will reduce the size approximately by half, but still we're talking about very large sizes. Now, copyright and fair use doctrine. Here's something that I found really interesting. The legality of copying a legitimately owned DVD or Blu-ray disc is confusing to say the least. There's a fair use doctrine that allows commercially created movie discs which we've legally purchased. We can copy them as the owner once for archival or backup purposes and for our personal use. But there's another law. It's called the DVD copyright law. And that states that cracking the code, digital rights management code, within the disc that was placed there to prevent copying, that's illegal. So anyway, based on the above, it becomes a personal decision if this is the process you want to pursue. So that's the website, plex.tv. You can check it out, and there's many other user videos on YouTube for further information and details. Now, when I've completed the ripping process and have organized my media files, I'll return with a part 2 using video clips showing how Plex actually works in my home. Thank you very much. Let me stop sharing, and we are back.
Thanks, Ray. That's very interesting. I'm sure there'll be lots of questions in the Q&A for you. I mean, I have some questions as well, but we'll wait to the Q&A for you.
Perfect.
But thanks so much for doing that.
You're welcome.
All right. Now I'm going to share, and I'm going to talk on the second part of two-factor authentication. There we go. It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. 4 types of two-factor authentication, part 2. This video is the second of 2 I have made to describe two-factor authentication. I'll put the link of the first video in the description below. If you haven't viewed that yet, please watch that before you view part 2. Now, you remember the old like and subscribe. If you would please like this video and subscribe to the channel, that really helps us make more videos like this. So let's get on with the 4 types of two-factor authentication that you need to know about. Understanding these 3 myths about security makes two-factor authentication feel like snapping on your seatbelt. Myth number 1, passwords protect your account. Google has known this for the past 10 years. Passwords do not protect against the bad guys getting into your account. You may feel since you're using LastPass or a password manager, you're doing all the right things. You may be creating secure passwords for each account, but at the end of the day, passwords don't keep the bad guys out, and Google has known this for the past 10 years. That's why no one at Google uses passwords. We'll talk about what they use in a few minutes. Myth number 2, profile of a hacker. Hackers are not individual people, but are sophisticated bots that travel the internet looking for vulnerable people by gathering personal data. This requires requires enormous resources. So these are often state-sponsored or related to large criminal organizations. The rapid proliferation of attacks on Google is directly related to digital currency. Whether you are an individual investor or a country that now uses a national digital currency, it all must be stored in a digital wallet. Google has over 1 billion accounts, so this makes them a logical target and likely the reason it is implementing two-factor authentication program. Despite the large number of accounts hackers need to use to destroy and find the money, it is well worthwhile, as it is very profitable. Two-factor authentication is the only way to protect your account. So myth number 3 is I won't get hacked because I don't have anything of value. Well, that is true that you may not have any digital currency, but remember what I said is that these bots have to hack into an awful lot of accounts before they find one that is of value. And as they're attacking all these accounts, Google is deactivating them and trying to kill the bots. But in that process, your account is going to get deleted. So when you wake up in the morning, just think about it. Your email will be gone. All those thousands of Gmail that you use. Google Photos, you may have had your life's work in Google Photos, and you may have put all those old pictures up for your family. All your stuff in Google Drive will be gone. Your Google account will be gone. All right, these are my accounts that are protected by two-factor authentication. You'll see there's a long list of them, but Google is at the top. And the 4 types of two-factor authentication we're talking about today are related to your Google account. So you must then go into each of these other accounts and turn on two-factor authentication. You don't just turn on two-factor authentication for all accounts. It must be done for each individual account. All right, the simplest and most common method used is a text message. You go to log into your bank sends you an SMS text message, which gives you a 6-digit code. You then enter the 6-digit code and have access to your account. Now, even a simpler method is using an authenticator app. This is an app that you would download and place on your cell phone, and there are many people who make these apps. I've given you a list on the left side, and you'll see all of these companies make authenticator apps. The one I use is called Authy, A-U-T-H-Y, and I'll discuss how you might choose an app in just a moment. But the important thing for you to know is that all these apps are free. And all these apps will work in all accounts. So you don't have to have an app for each account. So don't worry about that. A question I always get asked is, which app should I use? And my advice is as follows. If you are a LastPass person and use LastPass all the time, you may want to use the LastPass app. If you're a Googler and use Google all the time, maybe you want to use the Google Authenticator app. If you are a Microsoft Windows person and you use mostly Windows products, then you maybe want to use the Microsoft app. These companies that make these apps are trying to make your life easier. And it depends on what services you use, how they can make this better. Let me give you an example. So you're in Walmart and you're standing there and you pull your phone out to go to your Amazon account because you want to check the price. All right, so you're in Google and you open that up, and then you go to Amazon and you say, okay, what's the price? But when you're getting into your account, you're stopped because you have to put in a 6-digit code, two-factor authentication. You then need to go into the next screen and open the Authenticator app to get the code. Now you're standing in Walmart and you have to remember a 6-digit code to move from one app to the other. You might have to get your pen and pencil out to do this so you remember that 6-digit number. Depends how good your memory is. But if you have the LastPass Authenticator app, it will automatically put the 6-digit code into your Amazon account for you and quickly get you in so you don't have to remember anything. So it makes it easier for you. And all these apps try to make things easier for you depending on how much you use the services. So you just have to try them and find which one works best for you. So let's show you how this works. You're going to go to your account, you go into security, and you're going to say, yes, I want to choose two-factor authentication, and we're going to use an app to do this. Now, when you click on the button that initiates this, you'll see a QR code come onto your screen. You're going to think, oh, what's this all about? Because what it says is, please use your authentication app to scan this code. And you're going to say, well, how am I going to scan this code? This is weird. It's on my computer screen. Well, you simply go to the Authenticator app on your phone. You open the app up, and there'll be a big plus button right in the center of the screen on your phone. You click that, and your phone will turn into a scanner. You simply take the phone over and point it towards the screen, and you'll hear a little bing, and that has created the account and started the authentication process on that account. You then look on the phone, and there will be a 6-digit code there. You simply enter that in as the next step on your on the computer. Now, what actually has happened here? What is this process? And certainly the bad guys can download the app. Why wouldn't they be able to do the same thing? Well, what these are called time-based one-time passwords, or TOTP, and all it is a stopwatch. This app is simply a random number generator that does not have to be connected to the internet. It's simply, when you open the app up, it gives you a 6-digit code that it generates every 30 seconds. What you're doing when you pair the app on your phone to the computer screen is that you're starting the timer. And what the bad guys would never know is when that timer gets started and starts generating the random numbers in sequence every 30 seconds. So now when you want your 6-digit code, you don't have to receive a text message. All you have to do is open the app up, and all the codes for all your accounts are right there, and the numbers are changing every 30 seconds. Real simple. Now, the third type of two-factor authentication is the one that Google is using to auto-enroll you now into two-factor authentication with your Google account. This is the one that's going to automatically be turned on. And this is why it's so important that you have your recovery phone number in your Google account set correctly, and that should be the phone number for your cell phone. And what's going to happen with this is Google is going to use what we call a push notification. If someone tries to log into your account, and that could be you, you'll simply get a notification on your cell phone. And there will be a message saying, is someone trying to sign into another computer? And you either say yes or no to this and allow them in. That's all. So it'll be so simple. There's no text messaging. There's no app. There's no anything there. It's simply a push notification to your cell phone, and it will, and you say yes, and that will let that person into your account. That's called a push notification, and that is what Google is using for your account in the auto-enroll process. And the fourth and final way of two-factor authentication is actually by using a key system. This is what Google uses for employees at their account, and it is not hackable. This is actually a physical key that you plug into your computer, and it authorizes your account. All right, I want to leave you with 2 tips. Tip number 1 are backup codes for your Google account. When you go into the security section of your Google account, into where you set up two-factor authentication, you'll find an option for backup codes. These are codes that you can generate. They're 8-digit codes, but are permanent codes that you can use. You can create this, print them out, and keep them in your wallet for future use. If you lost your phone or had a problem getting into your Google account, you can simply use these permanent backup codes, but they can only be used once. So you have 10 options. You can go back into your account and recreate a further 10 8-digit backup codes, and reprint them. I have these codes printed and laminated. They sit in my wallet behind my driver's license. All right, tip number 2 has to do with tracking. In my studio here, I rarely get challenged with two-factor authentication because Google tracks me, and I like that. The more Google understands who I am and can distinguish me from the bad guy, the better it's going to protect me. Those of you who use browsers that cloak you, those of you who use VPNs or programs that strip out cookies from your browser, yes, they do keep you anonymous, but that makes it difficult for Google to understand who you are. So yes, you will get challenged more with the two-factor authentication request. Ron Brown with Tech for Senior, 4 types of two-factor authentication, part 1 and part 2. The link to part 1 will be in the description below. Until we meet again, please practice safe computing. So there may be some questions about that a little bit later. We'll certainly deal with those in the question and answer. Hewie, all ears.
Well, you'd look kind of funny if you were all ears.
Well, you don't have anything in your ears.
Please like this video and subscribe to our channel.
Bone conduction headsets. I'm Hewie Poplock. There are several types of headsets or headphones. First, there's the on-ear headphones. Then there's the over-ear headphones. And then earbuds. And finally, bone conduction, which is what we're going to be talking about today. Bone conduction headphones. I first saw one of these headphones advertised, and they were quite inexpensive, so I thought I'd try them. I've been using them ever since. This past Thanksgiving, for Black Friday, I purchased an Aftershok's OpenComm wireless stereo bone conduction Bluetooth headset with noise canceling boom microphone. And I'm using that microphone to record this presentation. Ludwig van Beethoven, the famous 18th century composer who was almost completely deaf, discovered bone conduction. Beethoven found a way to hear the sound of the piano through his jawbone by attaching a rod to his piano and clenching it in his teeth. He received perception of the sound when variations and vibrations transferred from the piano to his jaw. This has proven that sound could reach our auditory system through another medium besides eardrums, and the other medium is our bones. Beethoven took advantage of the bone conduction as well. Did you know that Beethoven lost his hearing? And he used a rod to hear his piano. The sound vibrations from the piano traveled down the rod through the bones in his head and into his ear. So how we usually hear. Normal sound waves are actually tiny vibrations in the air. The vibrations travel through the air to our eardrums. The eardrums in turn vibrate, decoding these sound waves into a different type of vibration that are received by the cochlea, also known as the inner ear. The cochlea is connected to our auditory nerve, which transmits the sound to our brain. How we hear with bone conduction. Bone conduction bypasses the eardrums. In bone conduction listening, the bone conduction devices, such as headphones, perform the role of your eardrums. These devices decode sound waves and convert them into vibrations that can be received directly by the cochlea, so the eardrum is never involved. The sound reaches the ears as vibrations through the bones or skull and skin. This is a benefit for people with hearing loss. Many cases of hearing loss are due to damages to the eardrums. Since bone conduction does not use eardrums, people with hearing difficulties would be able to hear clearly again with bone conduction, provided that their cochlea is in healthy and normal condition. Generally, hearing loss could be described into 3 categories. That would be conductive hearing loss, perceptive hearing loss, and mixed hearing loss. Conductive hearing loss is associated with faulty transmission of sound, and it's mostly due to damages to the eardrums. Bone conduction is able to aid a conduction hearing loss because a bone conduction device performs the role of the eardrums. Perceptive hearing loss is associated with the difficulty in sensing the vibrations by the auditory nerves at the cochlea. Bone conduction is less effective for perceptive hearing loss. As for mixed hearing loss, it's best to suggest a trial in advance to find out whether bone conduction could be an aid to mixed hearing loss because it differs among individuals. There's no shortage of headphone brands. You could probably name a half a dozen off the top of your head. There's also no shortage of headphone designs. Earbuds, canal buds, lightweight headphones, and noise-canceling headphones are on the market. Bone conduction technology has been around for decades, as we said before. You might have seen it used in some hearing aids. Google Glass adopted this technology as well. It has only recently been repurposed for headphones in the early 2000s. What about hearing aids and headphones? Well, can you physically wear headphones with hearing aids? Will headphones make hearing loss worse? The answer is depends upon your hearing aid and it depends upon your headphones. Top of the ear headphones is best for completely in canal, CIC, invisible in canal, or it can be used for in the ear, in the canal, and open fit receiver in the canal. However, feedback is more likely to occur with these types of hearing aids. Top over the ear headphones best for in the ear, in the canal, and completely in the canal, invisible in the canal. Can also behind the ear receiver in canal. However, feedback is more likely to occur with these types of hearing aids as well. There are many types and brands of hearing aids. If you wear them, check to see what, if any type of headset will work. Many newer types of hearing aids will interface with your devices through apps, and a headset may not be needed at all. It's not likely that any style of earbuds are going to work with hearing aids. The issue is quite simply that the hearing aid is already sitting in your ear or ear canal, so putting another device in there just isn't going to work. Bone conduction headphones is best for in the ear and in the canal and completely in the canal and invisible in the canal. Yes, headphones can cause hearing loss. No, they don't have to if you use them properly. If wearing your hearing aids with headphones, be careful to turn the music down, as the music will be amplified. If the headphones push on the hearing aid or it sits too closely to the hearing aid, you may experience feedback, a whistling noise coming from the hearing aid. This is an indicator that you either need to reposition the headphones or are unable to wear those headphones with your hearing aids. Noise canceling or noise isolating headphones should be your primary choice. The biggest problem with headphones is that people turn the volume up a lot higher than it needs to be, primarily because of background noise, people talking on the bus, loud coworkers, and so on. Noise isolating and noise canceling headphones help to remove the background noise so you don't crank up the volume to dangerous levels. Regardless, you should always use a simple sound volume meter app that tells you exactly how loud your music really is. You should aim to be lower than 85 decibels if you are listening to music for an extended period of time. The benefits of bone conduction headsets: number one, increase situational awareness. This is the big one. Immersing yourself in the latest playlist or a compelling audiobook is a great escape when walking, running, cycling, or driving, but it's a habit that greatly increases the risk of an accident. Closing yourself off to the outside world also closes you off to trains, horns, and people hollering at you. More comfortable fit. Do your earbuds fall out? Do your ear canals hurt? Are full-size headphones too heavy for your morning run? Jamming out to your favorite tunes through your cochleas while still enjoying the sounds of the outside world through your eardrums is a unique, double-layered listening experience that is unlike any other. It's almost like having a superpower or background noise for your life. The benefits of bone conduction headphones are something you'll just have to see or hear to believe. My AfterShokz OpenComm headset specs include frequency response from 20 Hz to 20 kHz. The battery life is 16 hours of talk time, 8 hours of listening. The charge time is about 1 hour, and it's water resistant IP55. The microphone is a DSP noise canceling boom microphone. And as I said, I am using that headset to record this presentation. So the microphone may have a little bit different sound than you normally hear in my recordings. So the pros of having a bone connection headset, or the particular one that I'm using: comfortable for longer wear, extended battery life for long phone calls or long walks and listening to music and so on. Boom microphone enhances the call quality. Not all headsets have microphones. Cons: the shape is hard to store. Some sound bleed may limit private conversations. Just because there's bone conduction, there's still noise coming from headsets that are bone conduction, especially those little flat ones that I wear in bed. You can actually hear them in the room. IP55 rating could be better as far as waterproofing, and the sound quality is lower than other types of headsets. So if you're looking for really good quality music in your headset, bone conduction is not what you are looking for. Here's another example of a different brand of bone conduction headset, and I'm Hewie Poplock. And that's
Thank
it.
you, Hewie. That's you undoubtedly will tell us all about your headset in the question and answer. We've got to move on to get going here. Bob, are you ready to go? You're going to tell us about shopping. I guess it's a little bit after the fact. We spent all our money. Hopefully we spend it in the right, spend it safely. But anyway, if you could, you're going to tell us about some scams we want to be careful about.
Here is 2021's list of cyber shopping red flags. Every year, holiday shoppers fall victim to con artists looking to make a quick buck. Today, cyber scammers have more ways to divert your trust and your dollars than ever before. While online shopping is a wonderfully convenient way to check off a wish list, it's filled with virtual pitfalls, phony websites, pretend packages, and bogus gift cards. Stay clear of cyber trouble this year with these 7 scams to watch out for during the holidays. Marketplace mishaps. In addition to eBay, online marketplaces like Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace have been growing in popularity. Whether you are listing an item for a long-distance sale or scheduling a local meetup, take every precaution possible. Meet only in a public place. Pay only after you have the item in hand and have guaranteed it is authentic. For long-distance buys, only use trusted marketplaces that have protection programs and a strong history of positive seller ratings. Look out for low-price bait. When the price of a hard-to-find item is so low that you can't believe your eyes, you probably shouldn't. Sketchy online sellers will sometimes list an out-of-stock item to lure you in, then pressure you to buy a higher-priced item after you found out it's unavailable. Don't fall for it. Gift card phishing. Scammers send you an email that looks like it's from someone you know. It has a link to a gift card from a legit store. But when you click the link, you get phished and your computer or phone gets hacked. Only open gift card links from people you personally know and have given you the heads up to expect a code. Better yet, tell your friends and family you prefer physical gift cards over virtual ones. Be extra cautious of social media offers to purchase your undesired gift cards in exchange for cash. Look out for fake charities. With the rise of crowd-funded payment sites like GoFundMe, it's easier than ever for fraudsters to get people to donate fake causes during the holidays. Check out charities on sites like charitynavigator.org and charitywatch.org before participating. Never share financial information with a charity unless you know they are taking measures to securely protect your personal data. Delivery scams. If you get a notice for an unsuccessful delivery that redirects you to a website or to a phone number, then asks you to share personal financial data, be cautious. Scammers have been known to create fake but very convincing delivery notices in an attempt to harvest your credit card information. Authentic postal service notices won't ask you for this kind of information. Look out for bootlegged items. Did you know buying counterfeit goods is illegal? If you end up with an item you didn't expect, you might not be able to return it. Avoid getting duped by impossibly good deals by only buying from trusted sellers and manufacturers. Research an online store's return policy before purchasing. Watch out for quick cash transactions. Credit cards have greater purchase contesting power than debit cards and gift cards. That means if you get scammed, you may not lose as much or may not even have to pay anything at all. If you plan on making a lot of purchases every holiday season, consider a credit card with as low a limit as you can. It'll lower your risk of loss while helping you stay within your budget. And here is one great idea for holiday shoppers to consider. Need a creative idea to show that you care this year? Consider giving the gift of ultimate cyber comfort. From now until December 6, 2021, Avast is holding our own cyber sale with up to 70% off our best security, privacy, and performance products for all devices. Just follow the link below to give the gift of cybersecurity to someone you care about. Stay safe, stay secure, and have a very happy holiday. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Bob. That's great. Ray, just before your music segment gets going, I want to say goodbye to our YouTubers. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget the YouTube premiere service that we have at 10:30 will be on, and we will be talking about a whole bunch of topics there. You'll be able to watch that at 1:30. So Ray, I'm just going to stop the feed and go ahead.
Okay, let me actually stop sharing again. Let me make sure I did this right. Here we go. All right. This is a little two-parter today. First, I want to talk a little bit about auto-tune. This is another collaboration of music and technology. So auto-tune is an audio process created way back in 1997, and the intent was to improve a singer's vocals as well as the output of the musical instrument by adjusting pitch imperfections. Thank you. Simply put, this vocal pitch correction technology allows one to be recorded and heard singing in tune when in reality they may not be. It didn't take long for the music industry to use this technology in a manner opposite to what was intended by its creators. Music columnist Greg Milner is quoted, "While working with Cher on the song Believe in 1998, producers Mark Taylor and Brian Rawlings discovered that if they set auto-tune on its most aggressive setting so that it corrected the pitch at the exact moment it received the signal, the result was an unsettlingly robotic tone. This technique became known as the Cher effect. Now, as you would expect, with the advent of this groundbreaking technology, there would be two enthusiastic pro and con sides. Those in favor of auto-tune argue it opens up new possibilities in music, while those against comment the trend has become a gimmick. All right, let me move on now to my first music for Christmas song this season. I'm going to talk about the group called Home Free. They're an a cappella, and for those of you who want to know, correctly spelt, there's a space between the A and the C. It's an a cappella vocal group that won the 4th season of NBC's The Sing-Off competition in 2013. This earned the group $100,000 and a Sony recording contract. Rachel Womack is a young country singer-songwriter from Alabama and is now based in Nashville. So the members of Home Free and Rachel met when they were both opening for Reba McEntire. And last year they joined forces for a cover of Amy Grant's Tennessee Christmas. During an interview, Rachel is quoted as saying, being in a band, a vocal a cappella group like they are, you have to be good live to be successful. They don't use auto-tone microphones, unquote. So let's hear what Rachel and Home Free sound like with my first Christmas song contribution for 2021.
Much, Ray. That was great. Just to let you know, I do have my Christmas lights up.
Wow.
I do. All right. Thank you, Ray, for doing that. That's great. We have had a big show today. So we're going to move into the question and answers section. But before we do that, I wanted, if you have to leave, just to let you know that our premiere service on YouTube will be starting at 1:30. And today I'm going to be talking on YouTube tips. Hewie is going to talk about, do you remember, Hewie, a year ago you talked about converting everything or anything, is it? Converting everything. Yes, you gave a great talk on that, and that's great. So you're going to talk
about converting them.
Yeah, and you're going to talk about that today. And also you're going to talk about Stream Deck, is something that of course you've used for a long time now, but it was new about a year ago and you gave a talk on Stream Deck. So that will be coming.
And the Stream Deck has been on a Cyber Monday special, I think. I know it was all weekend they had a special on it, and I think they might. So if you watch it and want one, you might want to check. You might be able to get a good price on it.
Yeah. So learn all about it today, and that will be on our YouTube channel at 1:30. Also, don't forget this week, Tech for Senior Live on Thursday. The usual gang's going to be there, and we are going to talk about gadgets. Oh my gosh, we're going to have some fun on Thursday. All the stuff that we have bought. So wow, that's going to be cool. So come and listen to us. Bring your coffee, ask some questions. We're going to have a lot of fun on Thursday, and of course we'll be back next Monday. So let me just now, if you know the routine, if you have a question, if you go down to the reactions button there, click that, and you can raise your hand, and that brings you right up so we can see who you are and then answer your questions. So we are all ears. Steve, go ahead.
Yeah, I got a question for Hewie. Those bone conductors, do they get any better response than your ears normally do, or is it about the same?
Do they get any better what?
Like, can you hear higher frequencies or lower frequencies?
I don't know. The quality is, if you're going to listen to music, it's probably not the best if you want full quality. If you're looking for good quality music earphones, then you want something that's going to go probably over your ear, and some of the ones that go in the ear as well. But it's not for that, but it's great. Right now, I've listened to this whole program wearing the ones I have, and I'm using the microphone that's with this particular one that I have. It's Bluetooth. So I can I can get up, walk around the house, do whatever I want, and still be listening to everybody and everything.
All right. Does that answer your question, Steve?
as much as he knew.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Go ahead, Jim. Unmute yourself. There you go. Unmute yourself.
I just wanted to give a word of warning to those of you with robot vacuum cleaners. Beware the poop.
Oh, but you have to get the new Roomba, the J7 that it's got a poop warranty on it and it won't pick up poop.
Exactly. My son-in-law bought a iRobot, and over this weekend, I understand that they had a poop attack that went all over the house. So it took them quite a while to get everything cleaned up. The dog reinstated to its favorite position since it's a puppy. So I thought I'd just warn you guys.
Well, Roomba, with the latest versions of these vacuums, there are forward cameras now on them, and this is in addition to the LiDAR, and so they're forward version cameras. And actually Roomba has been working on this for 10 years, and actually can identify poop with the forward camera and should go around it. In fact, they're so sure this works that they have a poop warranty, and they'll send you a new vacuum if it gobbles up the poop. So,
Yeah, but that's only that one model.
that's the one model. That's correct. Yeah. Phil, go ahead. You got a dog and you've got a vacuum. So has that ever happened to you?
No, I watch though. I mean, I always do a patrol before I run the vacuum, just in
Right.
case. But my question is, Ron, I was interested in your comment about using Google to show the slideshow.
Oh yeah.
You put those pictures in a folder and then created the slideshow, or did it automatically advance for you?
So what you do is I just dumped them into it. I just made a folder up in Google Photos and called it Sunday, right? Did this. They were literally coming 10 minutes from when we arrived. So I did this like boom and just create a folder, dump the pictures in there. And then on the app on the TV called Photo View, which is in all TCL TVs, I don't know. And so if you had a Samsung TV, they probably have some sort of photo viewer that links into Google Photos, but this one links right into Google Photos. So then all as I do is on the TV, just open the app up and say start, and I just choose the folder that I want, right? So this would be the folder called Sunday. So I just click that. And now within the app.
You meant album, right?
Yeah,
folder.
sorry, album. Yeah,
album.
yeah.
It's an album.
Album. And then you have the option in there to choose how you want them displayed. Do you want it random? Do you want it in sequence and all the usual stuff? But it's a way of displaying your picture. So simple. I mean, I literally did it 10 minutes before these people arrived, and it was there.
I was able to cast Google Photos to my TV, but I can't.
You could do it Bill, you could do it that way. There's many ways to go about it, but this is just so simple because I have
a slideshow.
It's also, I've got 5 TCL. They're all the same in the house. They all have the same app on. So I don't have to think about this. It just works really, really easy for me to do that.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Carl, go ahead.
Yeah, I've been, with all the Black Friday and everything, see a lot of commercials on TV for 2 things I want to ask you about. One was, maybe Bill has seen it, for the Sharp robot, that it will recognize a cup of water on the floor, and it will not, like a plastic cup or a paper cup, and will recognize not to knock it over. Have you noticed that, Bill?
No, I haven't, Carl. I haven't been shopping for vacuum since I bought the Wise, but I'll look at that.
The other, there were some other features too, but I don't remember them because I don't own one. But I think it had some you could do some mapping on your phone. You can, like you do for exterior landscaping, and map where you want the vacuum to go. Have a map on your phone of, not really a map, it's, I guess, a floor plan. The other thing,
Bob, sorry, Carl, Bob has one. Bob just bought one.
Yeah, not the one, mine is gonna knock over that glass of water,
Okay.
okay? And I can tell you that the mapping on the iRobot or the Shark is not as good as the mapping on the Wise. It takes several passes before it actually creates the map. Whereas on the Wise, that's the first thing it does, and it does a fairly good job. It takes several passes of the Shark before it actually finishes creating the map.
I think the Shark, now I'm coming back to me, some of the commercial, I'm not promoting it, by the way. I don't plan on getting a robot. But I think it has to have what they call, Bob, a heavy clean, where it will go perpendicular. If it goes across the room horizontally, then it'll do a vertical pattern.
Correct.
The other thing I wanted to mention to you, Ron, was that I've been seeing these commercials for these dongles or USB sticks that will pull all your photos off of your computer and your OneDrive and whatever. And I don't know if they use metadata or something, but they do kind of sort them, I think, chronologically or by albums. Have you seen that?
I haven't. I haven't seen that. I would.
We did a show on those.
Did you do a show, Jim, on that?
Yeah, yeah.
There you go. Could you put the link in the show notes there or in the chat?
If I can find them.
So Chris and Jim did actually a show on that. So
we did a segment on it.
Segment. So they'll give you the information on that, Carl.
See if I can find it.
Terry, go ahead. Unmute yourself, Terry. Terry, you got to unmute yourself. There you go.
I just wanted to thank Hewie for his presentation. I have a profound hearing loss. Been working with the Veterans Administration. I'm finally on my third set of hearing aids, which have Bluetooth. But I belong to the Hearing Loss Association of America, the national. I belong to our local Oklahoma City Hearing Loss Association. In fact, I'm on the board of directors there. But I have never seen anything like the presentation that Hewie has given. So I want to thank him. And I don't know if we have a full slate of presentations for the next few months, but I thought this might be something for our group to view.
Okay, well, I'll get with Hewie and we'll see what we can do.
I have made a recording of just that presentation, and it's on my channel. You're welcome to use it.
Okay, well, I thank you very much, Hewie, and I appreciate it.
If you test one, I'd love to hear what your results are, because obviously I don't have hearing aids, so I can't test how it works with different hearing aids, or it's going to be different for each person, but it might be something to look into anyway.
Well, it might be something I need to ask my audiologist at the VA. In fact, I've been intending to go back for an adjustment, but anyway, it might be something I ask my audiologist whether that would be something that would work for me. And I think you addressed that also. So I thank you.
You're welcome.
There you go. Go ahead, Joe. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, I have something I want to share with everybody. The DMV at Las Vegas here choose to give you a link that you can update your license plate or license online. Because I use Chrome as my basic preferred search engine. So I put in that link, which doesn't have www leading. That makes a hell of a difference. Apparently what they did is, without my consent, they sold my link to some hackers. I will call them hackers. They refused to admit themselves. Basically, they took me to their website without telling me that they are an expediter to update your license for you. Now, before I know, I find my credit card charged $400 some for service fee. And of course, within an hour or so, they reversed the charge back to whatever my local license cost, which is 260. At Vegas here is very expensive, 260 plus $45 for the expediting charge. I was furious on that because they did not give me any indicator they are an expediter. And they mimic the local DMV website, so you feel like you are with a government website. And after a lot of argument with them, I finally say, hell with it, I'm going to refuse the charge. Now, when that happened, very bad language was passed over on chat line. They're very careful, you know. So anyway, to put the story short, my credit card company was very courteous on that. They bluntly tell them to drop that, and they don't give them the money. And
have you contacted your state attorney's office?
I did contact my DMV people. They fell for it. Obviously, this is not the first time, I can tell.
Yeah, that's why I said contact the state attorney's office.
Yeah, but it's a very tiny mistake. If they would have put www.dmv and then NV, that will solve the problem, but they don't want to. They just put dmv.nv. That will give the web page people, in this case is Google. I think Google is guilty on that. And they sold my link to whoever that is. So be very wary when you get online, you're doing something without putting the www on top. And I have to change my credit card. I have to change a lot of bank deposit thing. You know, it was a whole week's of work or more, you know, and it was painful, but it taught me a good lesson. Never just take it as face value.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks for the information. Roberta, you get the last question. Is it a short one? Unmute yourself.
The mesh network again. Has anybody used the ASUS Asus Zen Wi-Fi 6E mesh system? It's pretty new.
Asus makes good products. I haven't used their specific mesh networks, but I would assume that their router is excellent. They have their router system is very, very good. So I would assume they would probably have a good rating on that. And I would probably, if you look at YouTube,
PC reviewed it, and it's around 430 now instead of 5 something.
Right. And can you buy it at Best Buy? I always like Best Buy because you can always take it back if it doesn't, you know, if you're not happy with it. Does Best Buy sell it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And you could go into Best Buy and ask them, you know, they have good product experts there, you know, chat it up with them and decide.
Probably today is going to be a mom.
Yeah, you don't do it today. That's for sure. That's for sure. All right. Thanks.
I just missed my appointment. I didn't realize it was so late. I was supposed to pay my real estate taxes at the DMV. So
be careful now. Remember, www. All right. Listen, thank you, everyone. It's time we go. We'll see everybody next week, same time, same place. Thanks everyone for participating in the show today, and thank you everyone for coming out. We'll see you if you want to listen to us again talk on Thursday. The gang will be there on Thursday. Otherwise, we'll see you next week. And also, I've put the agenda now is in the Saturday newsletter, so you should be able to see what we're talking about in the Saturday newsletter prior to our Monday show. All right, we will see everybody in about a week's time. Have a great week.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.